welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about a few things that absolutely drive me nuts. These are a few things that have been told to me or said to me over the course of my lifetime, and I just now finally want to get it out. They drive me crazy. So if you say them, try not to, please. And I'll explain to you why. Okay, so I have a list here. As you can tell from the title of this video, these are things that people say to me because I'm a Christian that I hate. I hate it. And it's not all what you would imagine. So I have a few things written down here, or typed down, whatever. Anyway, things that I hear as a Christian that just make my mind hurt sometimes. And the first thing, one of the things that people say to me when they find out that I go to church and that I'm a Christian is, I would love to go to church, but I think the roof would cave in if I ended up showing there, or God would send fire from heaven just to strike me dead if I ever walked into a church, or anything along those lines. Some people truly feel like if they step foot into a church, it'll burn to the ground because they are so sinful. And that obviously doesn't happen. There are millions of people that walk into churches every Sunday that have more sin than you can even imagine. And the beautiful part about it is that it's okay. It is okay. You can go to church and know that you've done wrong things and know that you're gonna do wrong things, and it's okay. You are not going to be struck dead if you walk into a church. And I'm not laughing to make fun of anyone. It's so real to me that God forgives, and it's not anything to be afraid of. If everyone was perfect, then we wouldn't need a church. So if you think you have to be perfect to go to church, then just stop and think about that for a minute. Literally everyone is welcome. So that's one of the things that I hate to hear, because it just makes me feel so sad that people truly feel like they're rotten enough where they don't deserve to be part of a community that can help you out in literally any situation. Nothing surprises us believers. And I know that that kind of seems unreal, which brings me to my next point. Point number 2. Christians are so judgy. Okay. That makes me so sad to hear as well, because it means that you've had an experience where someone has judged you. And that's not our job at all. As believers of God, we are not supposed to look at someone and think that they are A, B, or C. They are just like us. We just happen to have made the commitment to try to do better and to believe in the Bible, and that's that. So if you've experienced someone judging you, then that brings me to my first point, that everyone does wrong, and they were wrong to do that. So there's that. Point number 3. Okay, so this one's directed a little bit more towards the believer themselves. So people have told me so many times, like, your lack of experience means that you don't understand. So I don't do any recreational drugs or drinking. Obviously, that's one of the big things that a lot of Christians don't believe in. When you alter your mind and you alter your character, that in the Bible is stated as sin. You need to have a clear mind to stand up to any evil that could come your way. And if you're intoxicated or under the influence, your mind is not clear to make the proper decisions as a follower of the Bible. So that being said, I've had so many people tell me, you don't understand how hard it is to not go out and have fun because you've never done it, or you don't understand what you're missing out on, things like that. And let me just say, like, happiness is happiness, sadness is sadness, feeling betrayed is feeling betrayed. So whatever feeling someone has, then I think it's like really, I think it's something that goes straight across the board. We've all felt all emotions. So even though I may not have gone through something, it doesn't mean that I can't try to empathize with whatever the feeling is. So for someone to tell me, like, you don't understand fun, it's like that. I've had fun before. It's shocking, but it's true. So that's one thing that drives me nuts, is when people are like, oh, you're so inexperienced, you don't understand what you're missing out on. I can't wrap my mind around that. So, and that brings me to my next point. I married my high school sweetheart, and I have no regrets about that. But I've had multiple people come up to me and say, you never played the field. You never were that person to go out on a Friday night and hook up. You never did A, B, and C, and you're going to wonder one day what you've missed out on. You're going to be curious as to what you've missed out on. And so it kind of goes hand in hand with the previous point of like, oh, you don't understand what you're missing, you haven't experienced something, so you can't really understand what you're missing out on. And for me, it's like, I can say the opposite. Like, I could say to someone else, well, you are missing out because you don't know what it's like to marry your first love. So I think when people start to make those types of statements, it honestly comes across as someone is judging me, instead of just all of us getting along with one another. And it's harmless enough. I mean, these people are my friends that have said this, but I remember when I was engaged, one of my coworkers said to me, I promise you, it may not be today and it may not be tomorrow, but one day you will wish that you had had sex with a lot more men than what you have. And I was just kind of like, I was so shy at the time. I feel like as time has gone on, I've been a little bit more outgoing and secure with my own thoughts and opinions and my personality. But at the time, I was so shy and kind of scared of my own shadow that I was just like, oh, I laughed it off. But now today I can say, like, we have our ups and downs, yes, but I married the man that I love, and there's nothing that I'm lacking in that department. Like, there's nothing that I feel like I need to seek out elsewhere. Again, like, we have our stuff that we work through and need to work through, but it doesn't mean that I'm like looking for a one-night stand or wishing that I had been with more men or curious about like what it would have been like. So that's another point, is when people say like, oh, you just, you've missed out, you'll be curious, you'll be sorry, things like that. Another thing that drives me nuts is, and this goes along with people's fear of being judged, I think, A lot of people, like I said, say that Christians are really judgmental. I've had a lot of people that I thought were like near and dear friends that I find out later left me out of the loop on a story, or they censor themselves so much that it changes their personality. And I didn't know until later on, like, they are scared to completely be themselves around me because they're afraid, I am assuming they're afraid that I will make a snap judgment or think less of them, when really I am not going to do that. If you're truly like a friend to me, I'm going to be a friend to you. So I've had a lot of people say stuff like, don't tell Megan, or, oh, they'll tell a whole story, but they'll like omit certain parts. And I just feel like a friend is a friend, and you should be able to talk to your friends about anything. Like, my closest friends, I think heads would roll if people knew some of the conversations we have about any and every topic. And I think if anyone is looking for a different perspective, then maybe talk to someone that is a Christian, because we all know what the world has to offer. We all know what things can be stated from someone that doesn't believe in God. But what would my opinion be? Like, you might be surprised. So that's just one other thing. Let's see. I think that's it. So this video is like super short, but maybe it'll give some perspective to people that are afraid to go to church or be friends with a Christian. Or maybe it'll just help you understand how to relate to a friend of yours that is a Christian. These are just my personal opinions. I know everyone's experience is totally different than the other, but I just wanted to throw that out there, that true Christianity is loving everyone. That's like the first and foremost important rule, is to love everyone, care for everyone, help everyone. And it states specifically in the Bible to love one another, not to judge, leave the judging to God. And that honestly is what I try to do. And I'm not gonna lie, I think human nature is to look at someone and size them up at times. Or if someone offends you, you want to try to find something that makes you feel better about yourself. Like, oh, well, she thinks this about me, but she doesn't have a good enough job, or whatever. So I think it's human nature sometimes to kind of size each other up or get defensive or what have you. I'm not saying that like everyone's perfect, or I don't know. So, yeah, that's some interesting stuff, huh? I was gonna do a video on things that people ask me about my faith. Maybe I'll do something like that later on. I get asked a lot of questions like, what do you think of gays? What do you think of premarital sex? What do you think about undercutting someone to get ahead in your business? Things like that. I've been asked a lot of questions. What do you think of swearing? Do you drink at all? Do you all these different questions have been asked to me. And I was gonna do a video stating my opinions, but I felt like I had to lead the way with this video first, because like my skin is so dry. Sorry. I felt like I had to lead the way with a video like this, because if I went straight into what I feel and what I think and what I believe about all these different topics, I feel like it wouldn't, my opinion wouldn't hold that much weight if I didn't lead with, I feel we need to be loving to one another. We shouldn't be judging one another. I want to be a friend to everyone. If I didn't lead with those things, then if I just stated my opinion on everything else, it would just seem like word vomit. And I don't want that. I want to be real and open, but I also want to show my true human heart for people. And I think that's pretty much it. That was kind of a fast video, but if you like it and if you want more videos like this, or if you want to know more information, if you want to know more information about Christianity or just my faith in general, then definitely ask anytime, any questions. If you want to talk to me about a struggle that you're going through, I promise I will not judge. We're supposed to be there for each other, and especially during times like these in the world that we're living in. So I hope this was helpful. Subscribe, hit the bell, yada yada, you know the drill, and I'll see you next week. Take care, everyone. Bye!